It just keeps getting more and more exciting around here on Canadian Pro Wrestling Radio. I've had the opportunity to sit down with many great wrestlers over the past number of weeks. And now the excitement picks up to a whole nother level as we welcome Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Rob Van Dam. You've had many, many names in your career. RVD, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Glad to be here and glad to raise your bar to a whole new level.
Oh, you've been raising the bar for years, whether it be in independent organizations in Michigan, ECW, or your career in the WWE. So I got to ask you, since you left the WWE in 2006, what have you been up to?
Well, the easy and short answer is watch RVD TV at robvandam.com. And the reason I say that, although it sounds like it's just a gratuitous plug, is that's exactly what I've been doing. I needed some time away from the road because having a job with WWE, especially if you're a top draw and people are paying to see you, you don't get time off. And from my personal experience, I find even when you ask for time off, you don't get more time off. You get double booked. So when my contract it came up, it was up for renewal, I decided not to renew my contract so I could force a break. So I took time off the road, and I've been enjoying my family life here at home in California. This is like the first time in my adult life, actually, that I've had time off like this because I started pro wrestling right out of high school. And although the first few years I wasn't nearly as busy as I have been in the last few years with WWE, it was always about trying to be busy. It was about, at first getting your name out there, working your way up, trying to always get more exposure. And now, it's like I had like a break from that. So with RVD TV, I got my video camera, and I'm showing you everything that I have been doing. It's me here, my home life. It's my friends that I hang out with, celebrity friends in Los Angeles, my close, tight, inner circle of friends, my personal workouts. Everything's on there. And we just got the first DVD. I've got over 50 episodes of RVD TV. There's a new episode every week at robvandam.com. And now if you go to robvandam.com, you'll see that I have the best of RVD TV available on a DVD right now in time for Christmas. We're shipping them out priority next week. So that really answers questions of what I've been doing. There's been a few projects other than that here and there. Matter of fact, I have a ton of projects on the table that I don't really talk about yet because they're at different stages of development. But for the most part, my main goal has been to step off the road, and it really takes a lot to get me on an airplane now.
Oh, great stuff. Now, RVD.com, that's where you go to see RVD TV.
RobVanDam.com.
RobVanDam.com. I've been there several times, and one thing myself and my producer always say is, man, that site is really kick-ass. Who made that site for you? Who produces that?
The guy, my webmaster, his name is Eric Robbins, and he actually, just like many of my webmasters over the years, was a fan that wanted to do something cool for me. And he had been working on my website for a couple of years. He had it looking kick-ass, and I never even met the guy or even talked to him. It was like through a middleman for the longest time. And then when we turned the website into a business site to host RVD TV, then it became business. Totally happy with Eric. He's awesome. I get nothing but compliments. And as part of celebrating the 50th episode that we just released and the DVD, he is actually once again redoing the website. So although it looks totally kick-ass right now, if you check back in a few days, it's going to have a whole facelift, totally done over, still kick-ass, even more kick-ass. It'll be more interactive with the fans. There'll be a lot more features on it. So that's a constantly growing project as well.
RobVanDam.com. Totally kick-ass, RobVanDam.com. When you left the WWE, they had Randy Orton kick you in the head. That's not exactly the way that you wanted to go out of the WWE, I presume. Would you have preferred to go out a better way?
Well, of course. I mean, I pride myself on how tough I am. In a business where people watch try to see the line between entertainment and competition, and they want to believe that they understand it more than they do. Someone like me that goes through my career and prides myself on showing what I've got, yeah, that's pretty offensive to go out like that, because people watch my matches, not one good match, not a couple good killer matches, but for years and years, it's been important to me that people watch my matches and know that they couldn't survive one of my matches. My hardcore matches, people could not survive those matches. I don't care if you want to say, well, it's entertainment, that they're not really trying to kill each other. No. I mean, you can pick any of my matches. I don't care if I was wrestling Test or Bob Holly or Sabu or whoever. I'm out there to show that even within the realm of pro wrestling, you can judge for yourself how fast I am, how durable I am. You can see my moves, and you get a pretty good idea that RVD can kick some ass, and without getting hurt, too. You know, I mean, I had my one surgery my entire life. That was on my knee, which, you know, really took a wear and tear. And after the surgery, I came back like nothing. I hit that frog splash every night. Forgot about my reconstructed knee, and so did the fans, because it wasn't even a factor anymore. So to put me out with a concussion, yeah, that was kind of a slap in the face. But at the same time, I wanted out so bad that it was worth it. It was like, fine, just show me the exit.
Unbelievable. How were you able to do all that in the ring? Your move arsenal is absolutely unbelievable. How were you able to do that? Unbelievable.
There's really no answer for that. I mean, that's just, I was a show-off as a kid, you know, and on a diving board and on a trampoline. I would show off, you know, for the girls laying around the pool. If somebody could do a flip into a dive, a flip and a half, I'd have to do 2 flips. If they could do a back flip, I'd have to do a back flip and a half. I was always extreme, trying to outdo everybody else, trying to outdo myself, trying to add new and different things. I used to, when I was probably like 14 or 15 years old, I was at this public swimming pool I'd hang out at, and I used to walk the diving board, drop down into a split, bounce off my thighs into a handstand, walk to the end of the diving board on my hands, and then do a flip from there. I was hardcore and extreme even as a kid, trying to find new ways to do things that people haven't seen before. That just carried over into my career. So that's what wrestling has been about for me. I never tried to take someone else's position. I tried to create my own. That's the way Sheik and Sabu trained me. And I always tried to stand out. I never wanted to be like somebody else, because there's already somebody else. I wanted to be me.
Right. And your move arsenal to this day is very, very unbelievable. You mentioned being trained by the Sheik. What was that experience like for you?
Well, that's something that unfortunately nobody else is going to be able to, in the future, going to be able to relate to or explain from firsthand experience, because the Sheik has passed. A lot of people think it's the Iron Sheik. It's not. The Sheik had like 20 years on the Iron Sheik. He was the original. First guy bring a snake in the ring, first guy to throw fire. Quite different than RVD's style, but like I said, I had my acrobatics. I was a martial artist. I was a kickboxer when I went to the Sheik, so I already had all that going in. He taught me the basics of wrestling, grabbing a guy, bringing him down, trying to beat him, bring him in tight, squeeze him, and going through the Sheik's training, and then adding the levels that I had, you know, of my moves, acrobats, and my fancy kicks and splits and all that. I added that in, and that was not what my training was about at all. That was just what I added onto the very basic fundamentals of wrestling that Sheik taught me. It was something that we were taught by somebody that we respected more than anybody else. I mean, the Sheik was extremely intimidating. We would never talk back to him or give him any shit, you know, because he was the man. He was the boss. He was there to say, "Get back in the ring. What are you doing? What are you wrestling for? You tired?" You know, and we, no, I'm okay. I'm in the ring. That's how it was.
Unbelievable stuff. You had a short run in WCW. You signed a contract with them in 1992. What do you believe the reason is that your run in WCW wasn't as long as you probably expected at the time, back around about 12 years ago or so?
Well, first off, let me say I never have any expectations. That's kind of my approach to life, and that holds over in almost everything, almost every area of life and every aspect. it's safe to call me a free thinker. I'm skeptical on everything that happens until it happens. Until it happens, I don't believe it's going to happen. If, I'm supposed to go overseas and wrestle here and there. Until I've got all the money in the bank, I've got my plane ticket in hand. Until that, it's just an idea. In 1992, is that when it was? Yeah, December of 1992, I went to WCW. It was Ron Slinker that had hooked me up with this tryout match, although I felt like I probably already had the job anyway. And Bill Watts was the guy. He was the boss in WCW at the time. He liked me. I stayed there for a little while. He wouldn't let me call myself Rob Van Dam, so we came up with Robbie V. And he was there for, let's see, this was December. So it was only a couple months. During those couple months, I was beating guys like Buddy Lee Parker and Scotty Flamingo, Tex Schlesinger, Shanghai Pierce, Rip Rogers. And the thing is, I went in to WCW having a previous engagement. I had an obligation to wrestle for All Japan in February. Well, the WCW wrestlers wrestled for New Japan. They didn't wrestle for All Japan. But Bill Watts said, that's okay, you've already got that date coming in, you've already got that obligation, so go ahead. So when I went to Japan in February of '93, again, I knew I had a job. I went there, I got over, and I knew I could come back to Japan as often as I wanted. And instead of making